And I'm going to get it right this time. Candy, can you lead us in the pledge?
Yay, Kitty!
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this special meeting to be published December 19, 2022, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspapers, the Record and the Star Ledger, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and will be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. The purpose of tonight's special business meeting is to convene in open session and then immediately proceed into closed executive session to discuss personnel and legal matters. The board will return to public session at approximately 6:10 p.m. to hear public comments from the community and adjourn. Official action may be taken in the public session. May we please have roll call?
Ms. Joe. Ms. Curry.
Here.
Dr. Wolfenopoulos. Ms. Morel.
Here.
Ms. Richter. Here. Ms. Ramba.
Here.
Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Ms. Stasu.
Here.
Ms. Polak.
Here.
You have four.
The board will be convening to executive session to discuss legal, personnel, and other confidential matters. The board will reconvene into public session at approximately 6:10 p.m. May I have a motion to go into executive session?
Motion.
Motion Rubino, second Curry. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We are now.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The New Jersey Open Public Meetings Law was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interests is discussed or acted upon. In accordance with the provisions of the Act, the Fort Lee Board of Education has caused notice of this meeting, special meeting, to be published December 19, 2022, and posted on the district website at www.flboe.com, published in the board's designated online media newspapers, the Record and the Star Ledger, filed with the clerk of the Borough of Fort Lee, and mailed to all persons, if any, who have requested said notice. Please be advised that this meeting is being taped and may be broadcasted on local TV and the district's website at a future date. The Open Public Meeting Act allows for remote participation at board meetings and defines the word meeting as any gathering, whether corporal or by means of communication equipment, which is attended by or open to all of the members of a public body, held with the intent on the part of the members of the body present to discuss or act as a unit upon the specific public business of that body. May we please have roll call?
Ms. Joe.
Here.
Ms. Curry.
Here.
Dr. Wolfenopoulos. Ms. Morel.
Here.
Ms. Richter. Here. Ms. Ramba. Here. Mr. Rubino.
Here.
Ms. Stasu. Here. Ms. Polak.
Here.
You have four.
The board convened into executive session tonight at 6 p.m. to discuss personnel and legal matters. Do board members have questions or comments on tonight's agenda or any other topic? This would be the time for you to ask your question.
Question about the resolution?
About, yes, 2P.
I would suggest that it be moved to the floor, moved and seconded, and then questions.
Okay.
Yeah. So have a motion to
just-
approve, and then second, and then during
Okay, I'll
discussion.
entertain a motion to approve item 2P.
Motion.
We just don't know what he's about now. Since the person's not here.
Exactly, but
No, so pursuant to Robert's Rules of Order, in order to discuss an item, it has to be moved to the floor for action. So there's a motion, there's a second, then you have discussion. That's when you debate the issue.
Okay. There might be public comment first and then just go through the agenda. Yeah.
It's up to you, if you want to do public comment first, let me know if that,
I mean, I could jump there.
if you want to do public comment first, it's fine.
So first, do
Whoever
board
can
members
withdraw
have,
the motion from the floor, it's all. Whoever
Okay.
moved it, withdraw that motion, it's withdrawn. Let's do
we didn't
public.
have a second, so we're.
Okay.
So I think we're fine. May I have a motion to open the floor to the public?
Motion, Rhonda.
Motion
Second.
Rhonda, second Morel, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We will hear first from members of the public that are physically located at the cafetorium tonight. Then we will take questions and comments from those participating remotely. Please select the raised hand button in the upper left corner of your screen. Our board secretary, Akeisha Taylor, will recognize each community member in the order of the raised hands by lowering the hand and unmuting the microphone if you're muted. Please then state your name and home address for the record and begin your comments. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. Do we have anyone here? Yes, Michelle, that would like to speak. How are you this evening? Good. Bend it down. No, that's to the tap.
Hello, I'm Michelle Perez. I live in Northwest. I don't have a question, I just have a comment. I'm sorry for my attire. I was cooking dinner for my kids and thought that I should be here in person. I see Akeisha Taylor's name on here as a resignation. I'm genuinely disappointed that she will be leaving us. She has been nothing but professional and kind and thoughtful. And in some of these contentious meetings that have happened over the past few years, she's been very professional. So I am saddened, but she's leaving us, but I wish you nothing but the best. And I read something online from a certain ex-employee, which please don't comment anyone because we'll only get all of us in trouble. But none of it could possibly be true. So you have my deepest respect, and I wish you nothing but the best in whatever you do. I thank you to the rest of you for showing up in this cold evening. I see some of you have coats on, so it doesn't last too long. That was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle.
Do we have any raised hands?
We have no raising hand.
We have a motion to close the floor to the public.
Motion.
Second.
Motion Curry, second Rubino, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? We're gonna isolate out resolution 2P. May I have a motion to approve item 2P?
Second.
Motion Richter, second Morel. Is there any discussion on resolution 2P?
You don't know what it's about.
So,
Yes,
could you give us an
I'm
explanation
not
as to
comfortable.
the
I don't
basis of
understand what it
2P?
is.
So if I may, just for the record, so, board members, so you're aware, ordinarily personnel matters are reviewed and discussed in closed executive session pursuant to the privacy rights of employees under the Open Public Meetings Act. Employees, if and when there is a recommendation and or discussion of the terms and conditions of their employment, which may impact same, the employees have a right to privacy, unless they waive that right to privacy and elect to have any discussion held in public. The superintendent has a recommendation to terminate an employee. The affected employee has, in response to a rights notice that was issued at least 48 hours in advance, has exercised his or her right, an option to have any discussion in public. The superintendent can explain what the basis for his recommendation is. If you have any questions, you may ask the superintendent, and then you may take action on his recommendation.
Based on my recommendation, the employee in question on this particular agenda item, in the opinion of the central office leadership team, made some decisions that would affect the safety and health and safety of a child. And at that point, upon hearing the story and doing an investigation, it was Taylor, myself, Ms. Baker, and Ms. Williams, the HR director, a decision was made to terminate that employee for judgment regarding the safety and welfare of the child.
I'll give more details.
Yeah.
So basically, this is from my recollection in my conversation with the administration, there's a bus driver driving their route. The bus driver observed, witnessed, saw personally a student get hit by a car. The bus driver did not report that incident that potentially injured, harmed, put that child in harm's way to any supervisor, to any principal, to any administrator. It was not until the parent of that student brought the incident in question to the attention of the administration did the bus driver acknowledge that he or she saw this student get hit by a car. There is board policy and state statute that basically says if you see something, say something. Due to this bus driver's failure to report, not that she didn't hit the student, but she saw the student get hit by the car, did not report it to administration, and based upon that failure, that negligence, that intentional act of not reporting, a incident that could potentially harm the safety of the student, not being reported to the administration of this district, the recommendation is to terminate that employee. Any other questions?
Yeah, was the student injured, or did they call for, an ambulance, or did she speak to the student and ask the student?
The bus, to my knowledge, the bus driver did not speak to the student. The student did complain of injuries, which mom did, I believe, report to the administration and or to the medical
The student was placed on that bus, brought to the school. No one was informed that the student was just hit by a car. So it was on the same bus. No one was informed at the school. The child then the following day was brought to the hospital, sustained the injuries. And only the administration, both central office as well as school administration, know about it after a week later when mom informed the school. Then Ms. Taylor, myself, Ms. Baker, and Ms. Williams, the HR director, all met with the individual, our employee, and we discussed the situation and asked the question, why wasn't anyone notified of a child being struck by a car? Specifically on the route, specifically that individual's route, specifically that bus, then went on the bus, rode the bus, and that's it, went through a day. And there is a policy, as Mr. Taylor has said, that is, as with all of our public employees in this district, and anyone who's a public employee, see something, say something. The health and welfare of every child is of the utmost importance. So if you see a child getting hit by a car, and you are familiar with that child, in fact, transport that child, someone should have reported.
So Holly had her hand up first, and then Elisa.
I definitely would.
I don't think, I don't
Child's
think
a
we should
minor. I would not.
Robert, if I may, we shouldn't get into the personal health information of the student in public. This discussion is about the personnel action of the employee in question.
I understand, but we're all here for the children, and we're here, so I just want to make sure the child is okay.
The fair question, but again, I don't want to violate that student's rights or that family's rights with respect to the health and safety of their medical condition of that student.
So did we verify with the driver that yes, in fact, that person did see this happen?
Yes, and then the driver admitted it. And again, this is distinguishable from the driver, let's say hypothetically being on their way home, and they see it and they just keep going. The driver was working, the student observed the student get hit, student got on the bus, student went to school, worker, driver, employee said nothing.
And the driver did not ask any questions to the student if they're okay, or any kind of interventions?
The driver did ask.
Even if the driver did ask if the student was okay, the driver did not report it to
I'm just
his or her supervisor.
trying to
She's
figure
just
out.
trying to get some facts, so let her ask
No,
her
I'm saying,
question.
no, I understand that. I'm answering the question, saying the driver, whether he or she did ask they're okay, the point of the recommendation is the driver did not report the incident to administration.
Which she's got, so she would like to know, did the driver ask the student, are you okay? Do you need any help? What the response was?
Yes, that's it. The driver asked how the student was. That was it. There was a response, but that's it.
Other than the say something, is what kind of policy do we have then for something like that? You know, if,
Specifically, it says you're to inform the principal or your direct supervisor, there is a policy.
Do you know what that policy, is that a number is? I just wanted to
It's
look at
80.
it.
We'll get you the number. There's a policy. There's one for teachers and there's one for,
And how long had the bus driver been employed for the district?
multiple years.
More than 5, I'm just,
I don't remember the number of years, but the concern for anyone is always the says 8442 is reporting of accidents is the policy.
any more discussion on resolution 2P? So we have a motion to approve in a second. So roll call, please.
Mr. Rubino.
Yes.
Dr. Go. Ms. Stassen.
Yes.
Ms. Curry.
Yes.
Ms. Ramba.
yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Colback.
Yes.
Motion carried.
We have a motion to approve items 1P and 3P through 6P.
Motion. Second, Ramba.
Motion Morel, second Ramba. Roll call, please.
Mr. Rubino.
You called me?
Yes, we're
Yes.
doing the remainder.
I know, I just didn't hear my name, yeah.
Ms. Morel.
Yes.
Ms. Stassen.
Good luck, Keisha, and 1P, and yes, sadly.
Thank you. Ms. Richter. Yes. Ms. Ramba.
Yes.
Ms. Joe.
Yes, but I abstained from 4.
So noted. Ms. Curry.
Yes, and best wishes, Cindy.
Thank you. Ms. Colback.
Yes, and we'll be talking more and congratulating you, Akeisha, before March 14th, 2023, so, well, but yes.
So noted. Motion passes.
May I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any abstentions, opposition?
Wait, no, no, no.
Thank you, negotiation.